Hey Pisces, hope you are well, friends. Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. We are checking in for your energies for the week ahead. Just want to give a big shout out to all our friends who joined us on Saturday evening for our live YouTube event. YouTube did have a meltdown at around 1 hour 30 as we were doing your personal readings. I don't know what happened. I kept going and I did finish them all. So if you feel like you missed out from everyone who commented, I did see, it cut out 20 minutes earlier and then just dropped dead at my end. I even noticed that the chats and everything haven't even loaded. So something weird is going on. People even mentioned that they've been trying to comment on the upload. When the live finishes, it just broadcasts as a normal YouTube video. That still had some issues, guys. So I don't know. I think just YouTube had a bit of a meltdown. Mercury's moved into more stationing direct. So this could be part of the little shift that's happening. But Pisces, overall, friends, we do see you're being called right now to make a shift, make a change in support of where you are going. And it's going to require a little different version of you, because I do know that you care about others. You're always looking out for others. But sometimes we're not realizing through that we're actually holding ourselves back to keep other people comfortable. And I feel like this is a bit of a theme right now with the new moon energy that just happened and was presented along. Yeah, there's just really good things for you, Pisces. And you got big things to do. So let's have a look at your current energies and what you need to know. Just to let you know, for any live sessions that I will be doing going forward, I'm only going to do it directly on my private Zoom account. So that's my private Zoom room. Nothing to do with YouTube. I just find that technology sometimes has a mind of its own. The last week it's been doing the same things with some of the videos uploading. So if you want to get connected to our next event, because I'll be releasing what that is in the next week, make sure you go to the first link below, soulvineco.com/meet up, and join the Soulful Tribe, because I've got some really cool things happening for you guys. And I know a lot of you are asking, to get more connected. So I got something brewing just for you. So Pisces, patience and planning, patience and fulfillment of wishes. Wow. How much patience do we need? Pisces. Wow. Okay. I just realized I don't have my ring on. I do feel that the patience and planning aspect, I do feel for some of you, there might be a readjustment needed for some plan that you do have, something that you're working towards. And I feel that is needed. So you might have to go back to the drawing board, but I do feel very much this is divinely guided. I like how it's kind of like there's a portal there that's shining on the light. So I do feel there's some hope, and this is in terms of like the bountiful pursuit that you're on here. And if you are feeling a little frustrated, waiting for that something, like I said, I do feel that there's something that needs to be readjusted to come together here. And then in the center, we've got patience, because something is working in the background, Pisces, that you can't see yet, okay? So I feel this is really important right now to understand it is working, it is coming together. You just can't touch it, but it's there. Because as we move forward, we're seeing the fulfillment of wishes. It's what you're waiting on. It's what you're waiting for to show up for you. It's like, I'm doing the work. I've been showing up. When is it coming? So let's dive in a little bit deeper and see what this is. We're going to have a look at the challenge position. I'm going to get the Kipper cards for that. So let's have a look at what the challenge is. Do we have a flipper? No, but we had one drop. Let's get a couple more for the challenge. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. And one more. Thank you. So, coffin, poverty, wealthy man. Okay. So there seems like there's something that may have ended, or you're considering ending, or you're not sure where it's going. So coffin's kind of like the death energy. in retrospect to where something has ended, and it's time to bless it, thank it, what has happened, occurred, and really look at it that this is in power to you if you allow it to be in power to you. Obviously, any loss, no matter what it is, there's grief, okay? And I think the grief is being felt, whatever this loss is, or whatever this, I don't know. Again, I'm just getting some form of shift, and maybe this could be part of your concern moving forward, Pisces, is that these changes or these things that you want to go after create a lot of things that may have to end that have meaning for you. And it's kind of like this energy of like, I don't know if I want to do that, but I really also want this. So I can feel in some sense, whatever this loss is, you're feeling it, or yeah, I'm just seeing that this is impacting you. But what you may not see on the other side, or again, I'm getting this pursuit, Pisces, right now that is about your own stability, your own creativity, and this place of just feeling good about where you are, what you're doing. This wealthy man showing up, I really feel that's your energy of where you want to be. And wealth has so many things to it. I think sometimes when we think of wealth, we have our own stories of what that is. But usually a person to get wealthy, I don't feel this is about handing down from generations. Obviously, people create legacies, but I think it's important to remember that to get to that place, people have to work really hard. They make a lot of sacrifices to get to that place of where they feel good about themselves, where they feel good that they're making a difference, where they feel good and happy and passionate, because success is not a straight line. There's lots of different experiences, insights, hindsights, and things and mistakes. It's just, to get there is just not an easy path. And I think sometimes when we can see people with wealth or successes, it's like, well, you've got it, so it's not hard for you anymore. But you have no idea the journey it may have taken to get there. Okay, it's a massive mindset game. It's learning how to, engage in your emotions. You've got to get outside your comfort zone. You've got to learn to rally up people. You've got to then hire and watch, what people are doing, teaching people, like, especially when it's in business and moving towards that. But a lot of these people are also taking risks. They don't stay where they are or in their comfort zone. To get to that place, you got to challenge the status quo. And I feel this is really important, or something that you've got to embark on your own journey here, Pisces. We did have some amazing people on the chat last night. Sorry, not last night, because at the time of this reading, it would be last night, but on Saturday night, who are entrepreneurs. And like any person who's creating and building, they want it to be successful. But there's also this self-doubt, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Because I'm feeling challenged. What if I'm not good enough? What if I produce people don't like? So, remembering that we're all got our stuff. We've all got, something that, while we can have faith because we're in pursuit of that, we can still have doubt, and understandably. But I do feel this is saying, if you're in a mindset of, I'm getting for some of you to really think about how your relationship is with money. And this might be a challenge for you right now, because if you are in pursuit of this life that you desire, a lot of the time, and I just think this is relevant, is that money is a big deal. Money helps us feel safe, secure, allows us to pursue and do what we need to do. When there's issues with finances, it's freaking stressful as F, right? So, how do you feel about money? Are you thankful for what you receive, that you get to do these things that you get to do, or are you in a stressed state? But I feel like some of you just need to visit this relationship and how you look at people that do have money as well, because I feel like you're in pursuit of that. But for some people, it's also just rechecking what that is or what that means for you. So let's have a look what's hidden and what you need to know. Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the Empress energy. So this is hidden influences here, Pisces. So there's a lot on your goals, and I can see here about feeling stuck again. But what I like as well, Pisces, is that it's a 10. And when we get 10s, it's usually the end of the road for that endeavor, or that hardship, or that that matter at hand. And I feel here you have these plans. Queen of Wands is very certain of the plans that are in play, and she's making the magic happen, okay? She's making a lot of the magic happen. And I can see, sorry guys, I got some fluff in front of me and I'm trying to figure out what it is. So yeah, I'm just getting here, Pisces, that these plans that you have, like I said, there might be some frustration because you haven't seen things, come through fully as you need. You've been super patient. Amongst the patience, you're worried about what else is going on, and it might be making you feel a little bit of lack in, not enough, not so, it might be self-worth. There could be multiple things here in play, but I am seeing you move forward. I am seeing your strength here, because as you push through this and finally kind of let go, because when we go from a 10 of Wands, we can see that the wands are right in front of their face, can't see where they're going, okay, because they've got all this stuff weighted on them. But at the same time, they can choose to drop that. And once they do, they're not going to be hunched over. They're not going to be pushing against a wall. It's kind of like, oh, I can breathe. I can see again. So it's the shift between this 10 of Wands to that Empress energy. And it's interesting you've got the Queen of Wands, because I feel this is a less, because Queen of Wands has had a lot of successes, but they haven't had the success or the magnitude of magnetism with like an Empress has, okay? There's that, I want you to think about this Empress and this wealthy man. This is just the feminine energy. This is the masculine energy, right? So something that you're doing and something that you choose to release. And I can see you're concerned about letting go, because it could be part of a control thing too, right? Because we need to make sure that it's handled the way we want to be handled. It goes how we want it to go. But sometimes that's controlling the narrative and not allowing things to unfold as they need. And the influence here, Pisces, that you can't see is these burdens of how they're taking control of you. And once you allow it and give it space, or let it go and just go, you know what, I just need to let go of that and stop worrying about that, you're going to start attracting in, things are going to unfold for you naturally, organically, how they're meant to. Allow God to do his work. Allow Spirit to do their work, And I feel like that's what you're being asked for right now. Because something is germinating. We can see this with the patience energy on what's hidden. But I think you need to give a little bit of breathing space, Pisces, for yourself, okay? So let's have a look at the past pertaining to the present. We've got the Hanged Man and the 7 of Wands. So, Pisces, I feel that there's some aspect here of, and I can feel that little bit of frustration. This is kind of the sacrifices that you've made, or the sacrifices you've once considered, because there was something that you very much believed in here. I don't know where you went with it, but what I can see is that a part of this is that the patient side. No one, like, I don't know, who wants to be patient and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait? You want something to show up. And unfortunately, these things don't show up necessarily immediately. It takes work. It takes effort. Sometimes it takes, a community. But whatever that is, there's something here that that you have looked at, that you have considered, that you've waited on. But what I like is this determination that you have, because this 7 of Wands is very determined to go do what they need to do. They're strong and they're holding faith. So I want you to remember a time right now of when you've done this, or where you've been in this situation where you felt in limbo, but you really believe in something. And then I want you to imagine when you achieved it. You didn't go from 0 to 100. You went from 0 to 0.1 to 0.2 to point maybe 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but some have different speeds, some have different angles. So just remember that this is about the journey. This is not necessarily getting to that point 100. So, or that point of, yes, it's here. So the journey is incredibly important, but I think you need to remember for yourself how many times you've already done this, Pisces, to hang in there, because patience is still required here, just a little bit more. And I know how frustrating that is, so I feel you, friend. So let's have a look at what's in your headspace and what you need to know right now for our Pisces. Oh my goodness. Cards are flying. What else do we need to know for our Pisces in their headspace regarding their ideas? What do they need to know? Okay. So we've got the Devil energy. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, no one likes when a Seven of Swords pops up. I know. Or the Devil. But they can be powerful energy when you know how to work your magic here, Pisces, okay? So, yeah. I think it's just more so a little bit of polarizing focus or a little bit of pathological focus, right? It's usually one that is very intense, very like, when is this going to happen? Is this happening yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We're there yet? You know, it's kind of like that person who asks the same questions over and over and over again, but nothing has changed, or things haven't moved forward, you know? And I know sometimes it's not easy to understand that when you want results or answers now, but wherever you're at in this headspace, that's kind of what is showing up right now. You know, just to pull it back a little bit, because it is slowly moving forward. And I think in some way too, you're worried or concerned about it. You're being cheated out of something, not necessarily directly cheated, but, you know, because all this time is passing or whatever this is, you're wondering if it's even going to happen or if this can even become something that you actually want. But we're seeing it, Pisces, here with this Queen of Pentacles. It's right there. So where's your energy focusing? Because I feel like you're looking at going another direction, and you might be cheating yourself in that because you haven't held into the faith. So just be mindful of that, okay? For some of you too, interestingly, another message with this Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords in between. You might find too that someone is lurking around right now, maybe asking you a lot of questions to find out information. Again, I'm not sure what this is directly about, but I just feel that you would probably know some of this, and what I mean by know some of this, acknowledge someone that may be doing this, but maybe haven't really thought about why or what's going on. But they're trying to connect some dots here, like they need something from this. So just be mindful of this. I think someone is, you know, potentially looking for some form of answers or some form of information, but it's for themselves. I just think this is not caring about you or interested in you. They're interested in what you got, what's coming, and where you're going. So there's an in-between here somewhere that you need to pay attention to or be mindful about. All right, let's have a look at the near future. I like it. The Hermit. Oh, and the Six of Wands. I'm kind of getting like we need to celebrate a bit, Pisces. We need to celebrate a bit because I know that as you keep moving forward, you're making wins here. And when you're making wins, and this is something I've learned, and I think it's really powerful, and especially too with the group that I work with, because I have my own team of coaches. I have a business coach, I have a mindset coach, and I have a group of amazing people who also, like entrepreneurs, who also build their companies. And it's so important for me to stay connected into that because, like anything, you know, having that community makes such a difference. And when as well that you celebrate, it's not necessarily celebrating the big thing, it's celebrating the steps. So if you feel like, you know, you're making progress in an area of your life, you've got to find that team or that group or those people that you can celebrate with. You know, sometimes it's just, if you've painted, I don't know, your room because that was important to you, like, hey, why shouldn't you celebrate it? It takes effort, it takes planning, it takes time. Sometimes it's a bit pain in the butt. But as an example, if there's something that you're running miles, like what are you doing to remind yourself and celebrating those wins of that you are accomplishing that every day? That's a big deal. And you may not see it as a big deal, but it might, in addition to that, motivate others along the journey, along their own path, who also want to do those things, but maybe, they don't believe that they can. Think of when you first started. Think of when you first got there, and then the next milestone and the next milestone. Sometimes we don't celebrate. I remember when I bought this amazing home, 2 blocks for the beach. I didn't celebrate it. And while I felt great, I felt like also part of me felt like an imposter, because I had some great successes, and it was also, again, didn't celebrate. I kept it quiet. I don't know if that's kind of like the Aussie British way. We hold a lot of those things close to us, like it's not allowed to be celebrated. But that's probably one thing I do appreciate, the culture here, which was probably hard to understand in the US because it's very different, was that it's good to celebrate these wins. It's good. It's okay to say that you achieved and bought that home, car, whatever else, So I just, again, but it doesn't even need to be that big. It's just that milestone of maybe, you set up your YouTube channel, but you haven't made a video yet, but you set up the channel. Great. So let's cheer that on, and then let's motivate you to what's next, right? So that's what I mean here. All right. So Pisces, let's have a look at your power in this situation. Celebrate that first date that went well. Celebrate that, I don't know, that cool little adventure you've gone on with your wife or your spouse, right? Or your husband. Celebrate that, again, that walk, that end of week. There's something that can be celebrated, and I think that's going to really help you here. Your power, Pisces, the Hierophant, 5 of Wands. Your power here is being able to come into a situation where there is challenges, where there are conflicts, and handle it with grace. There's something that you bring here, and you already know that. But I feel with this showing up with the Hierophant and the 5 of Wands, there is some conflict that is happening potentially around you. I don't know if it's in the workplace, at home, with friends, something that you're in. You've got a gift here, and the spiritual gift of being able to ground people and get them back into this balance. Okay. Yeah. There's like something that you have that you might need to pull out of you, but I think this is very natural for you. Okay. To be able to just soften whatever this is that's happening, wherever there's some form of competition, where there's some form of delay and people are arguing about this delay or what they think it is or what if, and it's like you need to be able to bring this back into just calmer waters, and I think you're being called to do that right now. And interestingly, they're both 5s. So let's have a look at your environment. 6 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Pisces, I feel like there might be a little bit of self-reflection on where you have been investing and where you have got returns as well. There might be a little bit of a focus right now, or things popping up. Do you know that you have those moments where there's like, you have these thoughts of stuff that happened from like months ago, years ago, and you're like, why is that popping up? That's so random. And I feel like you might be getting a little bit of that. That's just, you're just assessing different parts of your life. But again, I think there's some reminder of remembering when you have invested and where the results have given you your desires as well. And I feel like, again, a part of this past energy, because it seems similar in different ways, that remembering how far you've come, remembering the things that you have accomplished, remembering how awesome you are is an incredible part to this puzzle here, or to this growth here in terms of what you're waiting for, okay? Because sometimes something goes from patient, waiting to just going full force. And it's like, holy shit, all that waiting, oh, I'm here, wow. It's like when you're waiting for that holiday, or you're waiting for something to wrap up and finalize. Sometimes it can be like months and years you're waiting on something because it's not something that you may necessarily be able to lead and handle. You've got to wait on other people. And there's something here about the waiting game right now, Pisces. So let's have a look at your hopes and fears. Tower to the Ace of Swords. Pisces, with I guess a question for you, because this is hopes and fears. There's two parts here. I do think there's some concern I can acknowledge here around just something, because we can see the challenge here, okay? And I feel this is a bit connected about something not working out and you having to start again. I think there's some concern there. But I think there's also a part of you respectfully, sometimes we manifest something, and a part of that manifestation just naturally ends other things. I do feel it's interesting. You may not realize this, but I do feel that whatever that you're trying to create or manifest, you also know within yourself that this also then ends this or relinquishes this or something of that nature. And I don't know what this is in particular, but for you, you'd know that. And I think, I don't know, secretly, subconsciously, whatever it may be, you may be, when you get to that stage, you also know intuitively what that also means for other areas of your life. And that's sometimes a little bit scary. So I do feel like there's this sense of, again, accomplishment that you're going to feel, but I think there's also this sense of a little bit of loss. And I think there's a tiny little bit of battle inside you right now, and maybe what you're trying to work through internally, because we also see of this newness, this reality of what the potential of something can be, okay? But you also know that the things need to kind of move outside the status quo. They kind of need to shake things up a little bit, and that's, kind of what's required here. So let's have a look at the outcome and what we need to know, Pisces. Let's get a couple more. Thank you, Spirit. Let's get the big finale, shall we? Okay, kicking off, Two of Swords, Temperance energy. With the Page of Swords, got two more. Five of Cups, Seven of Cups. So we can see the crossroads here, Pisces, okay? Like I said, making a decision, also working towards what that's going to be. So I don't know if you have to have conversations with someone here, because someone sees what you're doing. And maybe you've been holding it close to your chest. Like I said, there's something that you're holding close to your chest that you haven't shared yet. And I feel like that could also be part of the burden that you're feeling. But someone definitely can see what you're doing or what you're up to. And yeah, it's just like they're watching on, like they're waiting to hear from you or trying to understand. And they may come towards you in a way that you may not, appreciate, but that's their own stuff, okay? That's not your stuff, that's their own stuff. But being able to get to it before someone else mentions it. But sometimes too, it can suck when think of when you're like really stressed about a situation or something that you're looking at, and you're creating all these different ideas, thoughts and things that it could be, and you're just working yourself up, and it's because you don't have information, so you feel even more worked up. And I feel like that's potentially where this person is at. They're just looking at everything, and I don't know if there's a way that you can balance this out, because more so there's something that you're creating and they're watching this creation, and I don't think they're too crash hot about it. They seem concerned or a little bit disappointed because it's like they don't have options, you have options. But the reality is you're creating all these things that are coming to you because you're doing the work, because you have this belief on something that you really desire and really want. But like I said, Pisces, you're holding yourself aback a little bit, and this has been for a long time. And it's more so, sometimes it's our fears, sometimes it's our doubts, but a part of sometimes procrastination is taking care of other things and not taking care of what we really want to do. It's a little sneaky procrastination, and I feel like that's what may have been happening for so long. And now you're like, I'm kind of done not doing what I want to do. I'm not getting what I need or the energy out from other things. It's time I go do this. And people are watching it, and you're popping up now. You're getting the wins, you're popping up, and maybe people are seeing those wins even if you're not celebrating it out loud, because you don't need to celebrate it out loud to the whole world, but go for it if that's what you want to do. But maybe, they're kind of watching and can see the different energy, see the different tempo, see the difference in where you're going, and they're like, don't feel a part of it, so they're looking deeper into it and getting maybe a little bit, I'm just getting a little bit frustrated or a little bit too inquisitive for your liking. Like I said, I feel someone here is asking questions, so just be mindful of what these questions are. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here, okay? But I am seeing a lot of options and opportunities that are coming towards you, Pisces. But again, with this Seven of Cups showing up, I think it's great and I think it's wonderful, because with opportunities means we have plenty of choice. But again, staying focused on the things that you have sacrificed and worked hard for in the time of patience, in the time of faith. I feel like you're also being potentially presented with a little test of your faith here right now on what it is that you want, because sometimes what you see in front of you doesn't mean you have to settle with that. You can still wait. Good is good, but we know we want great, right? So leaving that with you, dear friends. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye now.